Do I look good?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to CNA Weekend Recap. Justin returning after several weeks off, and Ken and Josh have been doing a great job without me.
Good to have you back, buddy.
It's
Thanks,
nice
sir.
for all three of us to finally be here.
And most of the show, I think, tonight is going to be dedicated to our review of the newest Marvel Cinematic Universe entry, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We all got to see it over the weekend, so we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, there was a discussion that was held while I was out about the future, the new future of the DC Universe.
So he's cracking his knuckles before he
Oh,
talks. Did you see that?
Yeah. Ken and
That was
I
like a Freudian moment. Like, let me get that.
Ken and I mentioned several times that Justin not being there was the person with most expertise on the DC side because he loves it way more than Ken and I do. So we were, we have to include it. So I'm just going to cut to you, Justin. Just tell us what
We're
you
gonna
think
shut
of
up.
everything. Yeah,
Go.
let the man talk.
Well, if you've ever watched this show, you know that I was a big fan of the Snyderverse. And, very, very vocal that I thought we were going to get the Snyder Cut. And I wanted that Snyderverse. And that's where I wanted it to go. Clear that's not going to happen. I can accept reality. I'm not one of these moron fans that's telling them to sell it to Netflix. That's one of the most asinine, absurd things I've ever heard.
Get off my lawn. I like things the way they always are.
Well, and just beyond that, do you not have a brain in your head that understands business?
No.
They do not.
Forget the fan base. We're talking about simple business. You're asking a billion-dollar company to just slough off a version of their most valuable asset, diluting the pool and confusing the fan base. It's asinine. It's absurd.
Delusional.
Stop with this shit. No one's gonna sell the Snyderverse. As much as I hate to say it, it's dead. We will have vestiges of it moving forward. I think the Flash movie shows that. Well, there'll be some vestiges of it, but it will just be trails. It'll be breadcrumbs. We're going to get a new universe with some of what we've seen before, but definitely what I think was a soft reboot.
Yeah.
Under the helm of James Gunn. And this is where I have to play a wait and see. I love James Gunn, and he really hasn't done anything to disappoint me. But as we were talking before, James Gunn follows a very narrow pattern. He has his lane, and he has stayed in it and has been successful in that. You can't build an entire cinematic universe in that lane. Superman cannot be in that James Gunn formula that we have seen. It just cannot. I know he's writing it. We don't know if he's directing it, but we know he's writing it.
Most likely directing it. almost confirmed. Just saying. Carry on.
Superman does not need to be that typical James Gunn. James Gunn has taken ancillary characters for a reason, because that allows him the freedom to make them his characters. That's not the Mantis from the comics. That's not the Star-Lord from the comics.
No.
None of these characters are from the comics. They held a vague similarity, but because no one fucking knew them, he could do whatever he wants. Same thing he did in Suicide Squad. Yeah. He took D-list characters and brought them forward, and everybody thought they were great. But who knows if they were accurate? Nobody's read them.
Rocket Raccoon was accurate to the ambient lighting, but other than that, you are correct.
Carry on. How many people were like, before that movie, like, my favorite character is the Polka Dot Man?
You're not wrong.
You still have the floor, buddy.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah. Come on. We got you back. Cheering.
So Superman needs to a reboot. I don't argue with that. As much as I love Cavill, I love the idea of a younger Superman. But recently in an interview, he referred to his Superman as a big old galoot. If that doesn't scare you a little, you don't know Superman. That's terrifying. It makes me think he's going to turn him into a mixture between Star-Lord and Thor that we've seen recently. This overpowered but somewhat fucking stupid frat boy kind of thing.
Oh, shucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm from Kansas, woo, fuck you, Gunn. You better not do that.
I could see him using that adjective galoot as maybe his version of Boy Scout. That, you know.
Those are not synonyms.
I know they're not.
God, you big
But,
balloon.
yeah.
You old.
Yeah, but I mean, I
maybe.
can also see that at the same time.
I'm a 4th-year galoot. They're not interchangeable.
I don't disagree, but people sometimes pick the wrong words.
When you're doing an interview about something this many people care about, you have to pick your words better.
He loves Superman. Just saying.
I do.
If you
I
can't
love the
tell.
DC universe. I love Batman. I love Superman. I love Green Lantern. I want these characters done well. There are parts of his announcement that sound great. The Green Lantern focusing on both Jon Stewart and
Who texted me?
Hal Jordan. Love that. There are things that make me, and I think his style could work really well in a Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, yeah.
I
100%.
just don't know. We disagree about this, but there was a time when Matt Vaughn was attached to the next Superman project. I love that. Matt Vaughn has this awesome action style that I thought could have brought even a bright and shiny Superman, a Boy Scout version of Superman, into the 21st century with just his fight choreography.
Yeah,
he does.
no.
The fight scene in the church in the Kingsman is the pinnacle of cinema action. It is the best action scene in the history of cinema to me.
Wow.
It is the litmus test that all action that I measure all action scenes from now on. Yeah, I wrote him the other day and I was like, I think I saw something that kind of compares to that scene.
Which is what? I need to know.
It's the Santa Claus.
The
movie.
Santa Claus
Oh,
movie.
With David Harbour.
When he's killing everybody to Santa Claus is coming to town, that is the closest that anybody's come to that scene.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Nothing beats killing people to Freebird in a Baptist church.
It's the greatest action scene in the history of cinema. People die on this hill.
That's fair. You know?
Can you imagine that style applied to Superman taking on just like an army of like
Parademons or something?
yes, something we don't care that he just parody.
That's the important part. Something we don't care that he just
ripping wings off and shoving it down their throats and shit. I mean, it would be amazing.
I think we lose the Boy Scout ass.
Yeah,
it's
that feels
parademons.
more Batman than Superman.
It's parademons. He can do that. It's kind of like Nazis. We don't care what you do to them.
It's a Nazi. Who cares?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much
Because
what
their leg off and beat them with it. It was a Nazi.
Oh.
See Inglorious Bastard.
Yeah, no. I mean, you know, if you see a Nazi, punch him in the face. You're probably not going to jail. Just
Beat him in with a bat. You know?
Jesus. We're not advocating for murder.
What he said. It's a joke. It's funny. It's all in fun. We're fine.
But if you got to murder somebody, murder
I
a
mean,
Nazi.
if it's a Nazi, though, I mean, just
Yeah.
don't no.
Anyway.
No. It's a joke. This is a satire. This is a satire show.
We're protected under the First Amendment. Don't worry. It's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
It's a kid.
I'm just saying.
They both had more to drink than me tonight, I think.
Okay. So
I wouldn't do well
I
in
think
jail.
we-
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't. I'm the only motherfucker on this panel that has fucking children. Like, it's like, no.
Oh, that is not
That's
where
not
my head went at all. He said he wouldn't do well in jail. Yours either?
he's being delivery, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Anyway, so
Thanks for moving on, but
Ken-
that's my boy over there. He
Talking about-
understands. We need to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Let's get to that. Are you good? Do you have more thoughts on
Yeah.
the DC?
wait and see. It all hangs on what he does with Superman,
It
because that
does.
seems like his first big rock of the new DCU. It all hangs on that. If he can deliver a movie that doesn't feel like a James Gunn movie, then he can succeed. If this whole cinematic universe is James Gunn, it will fail.
Yeah.
That's my take.
All I got to say is that quote I said earlier. You never know what you're capable of until you're called to rise to it.
I mean, that's fair.
And I just this could break the mold for him. This could break
I hope
him
it
something.
does.
I do too. I want James Gunn to fail, but
I'm
to no, not to fail. I want James Gunn
Wait, what?
not to. God
I'm
damn it.
also going to use
Ken wants
another.
him to succeed, is what he's trying to say.
I'm going to use another quote from Ken. Ken recently said that I only believe in things that I can see and have proven.
Oh boy,
we haven't seen that.
We have not seen James Gunn do this.
Well, not in the DC. So
we haven't seen him done in Marvel. He has done what he does. To give him the Kevin Feige reins and do a disparate,
what he's done
very
is so good,
universe,
though.
he has not shown us that ability.
It's so good, though.
I hope that he's smart enough to be able to step back.
Hire the right people.
Yes, and be Feige
If he
for
can
the
do
DC.
that, awesome.
Put the right asses in the right seats.
Yes.
But what worries me is that he's directing and writing the first one. And that's like coming out of the gate saying, this is my universe. If he had come out and said, I'm going to produce Superman, but we're going to put another talent in that has a vision, I'd be much happier. I'm worried that he's writing and directing.
Maybe this is his chance. This is his chance to break the mold. This is his chance to do something new, to rise to the occasion. You know what I mean? Like, I just...
Oh, and shit. It's just like Justin and Ken both said, we have to wait and see. We don't know. You know, and we have been wrong so many times in the past that, you know, it's not in... Please.
We're right more than we're wrong. Check the tape.
Footface, Batman. That was one of the best Batman movies ever.
He still thinks he's a Footface Batman.
Says who?
I think it's a great one.
It's an okay movie, but it's not the best Batman. Wait,
I
what?
said I think it's one of the best Batman movies.
How about that?
Okay, whatever. Toe-face, thumb-face. What's he called?
Footface.
Oh, I had it right the first time.
You did that right the
Nice.
first time.
Okay, anyway, we're going to get off this now.
Let's talk about Ant-Man.
Yeah, okay.
We haven't talked about this much intentionally to get our opinions on the air.
Yeah.
So I think this will be a good discussion. They saw it together. I saw it separately just last night. So it's very fresh in my mind.
And spoiler warning, anybody who hasn't seen it, turn it off, come back afterwards.
That's on you, though, dude.
Yeah,
It's
we're
a
going to
Marvel
spoil
movie.
everything.
It's Sunday night. If you haven't seen it, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Right?
All right. So you guys saw it together. Let's
Mhm.
get your take first.
I mean, you know, we went in with some critics' versions saying it was only mediocre and wasn't what they thought it would be.
Had a lower score than any Marvel movie going into opening.
I
Yeah.
think it's bullshit. In my opinion.
Lower than Love and Thunder.
Which is bullshit. Complete bullshit.
Complete and utter.
I absolutely loved it. I thought they did wonderful things character development-wise with Scott Lang and his future in AMC. You know, he's always been not even B-list, but kind of like C-list character. You know, he has been comedy relief the entire time. Whenever he shows up, he's the guy that's cracking jokes and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I think this story changes that.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you feel?
I mean, I related to this movie more than the other two Ant-Man movies. And I've told you guys this before. Ant-Man movies have always been on the lower echelon for Marvel movies for me. They've just never been my favorite. They're okay. They've never been my favorite.
They're very comedic. And you're not an incredibly big fan of comedy.
Not true. What the fuck? But anyways, out of the three Ant-Man movies, the third Ant-Man movie is my favorite Ant-Man movie, okay? And I relate to this on a different level. I have kids. Doesn't matter, really, I guess. But the truth of the matter is, I think this was okay. I did not dislike this movie at all. I enjoyed it. At the end, I looked at Josh and I said, I enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. I think MODOK was dumb as hell. I thought MODOK was the worst part of that movie. But, God, I'm too drunk for this. But anyway.
Say the quiet parts
Okay,
inside your head.
okay. That's fair. I did enjoy Ant-Man and the Quantumania. I think if it wasn't for Kang, though, I wouldn't have enjoyed it so much. If it wasn't for Jonathan Majors, I would not have enjoyed this movie so much.
Okay. Justin, what's your take on it?
I thought they did MODOK about as well as you could have ever hoped to do MODOK. I never thought we'd see MODOK in a live-action version. He is just such an absurd character design.
We didn't have
How
to.
else could you do it?
We didn't have to do it.
They did not have to do it.
We just could not have done it at all. I'm just saying.
But if you're going to do it, comic relief is probably the way to go.
I will say, and I don't want, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I thought MODOK was one of the best parts of this movie because,
Let him have it.
yeah, just
This is.
he failed on every single layer as a character. Did not work, did not fit in, broke me out of the movie every time he showed up. And there were people who, all along the way, when they were putting in this movie, somebody could have been like, yo, this is dumb as shit. But they just swung for the damn fences. And if you were gonna fail spectacularly. I would rather see, the Daredevil motorcycle explode over the gap than like he just hits the ground and falls or something. Like, just go big and die. That's fine. Don't bring this character back. He's dead. We're done with him. Cool. But I like the chutzpah it took to
So
put him
your
in there.
favorite part of the movie was an abject failure.
Yes.
The favorite part is
Gotcha.
the worst part.
Gotcha.
He was hard to recognize. I mean, like as the actor, like
creepy.
it was bad. It was strange. It took me out. It did.
I thought it was hilarious. I laughed every time he spoke. Every time they showed his face, I chuckled. It was comic relief in a movie that's very funny and comedic already. You're right. It looked absurd, but it's an absurd character.
It is, yeah.
That's absurd in the comic books.
Yeah.
That's fair, but it was what he said a minute ago. It's absurd, and we know it. We're gonna own it.
My favorite part of the movie was probably the four of the group. I love that we got an expanded character for Janet. I love Janet's role in this.
How does Michelle Pfeiffer look so good still?
She looks so damn good.
What the hell, man? Somebody needs to get her plastic surgery and send it to Madonna.
I would have liked to have seen more. Madonna